Julie.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Diane Logan. Hi, attorney here. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Would you like to come back to my office or the library and we can sit down and talk about your issue?
Sure, that'd be great.
Great. So Julie, how can I help you?
Well, Diane, I'm going through a divorce, and Jason, that's my husband, and I are fighting about the kids. See, he wants them every weekend, but he's a terrible father. For example, he goes out every night drinking, and he'll come home in a horrible mood, just mad about everything. Then the kids will wake up because he's yelling, and he's yelling at me, and they're in tears, and they'll try to calm him down, but last week he threw my son across the room. Anyways, yesterday, there was this guy that came to my house. He said he's a deputy sheriff, and he gave me papers that said I had to go to court in 3 days. Jason's taking me to court because, like I said, he wants the kids every weekend. So I went to the court yesterday, and I spoke to a lawyer there. He was the lawyer of the day, and he said I should try to get supervised visitations between Jason and the kids. I don't know really what that means, but supervised makes it sound like the kids would be safe with Jason. But I don't know enough about what it is or even how to make sure it happens. So could you maybe explain it a little bit to me?
Well, that's really the idea behind supervised visits, is to make sure that somebody who's responsible is keeping an eye on what's going on, because the person here, your husband, visiting with the kids is not reliable. There's different ways of doing supervised visitation. One would be a friend or a relative, someone who's impartial, somebody who's not going to take sides, but somebody you trust and he trusts. That would be kind of an informal setup, but you could do that. There's also professionals. A lot of times they are people who once worked for the Department of Children and Families, or they have other mental health or experiences with children, who actually you can hire to be supervisors, and they can meet wherever seems appropriate, whether it's somebody's apartment, whether it's McDonald's, whatever seems appropriate. Then the third, and probably the most restrictive choice, is a supervised visitation center, a professional place where the children go, meet with their father in a room. They're observed by a professional supervisor who takes notes and has a whole log of what goes on during those visits. So it's kind of the parameters. Okay.
So could you maybe explain to me why someone would maybe want to use a professional visitation supervisor or center instead of, I don't know, a friend or a relative?
Well, it depends on how concerned you are that Jason is not going to be safe with the kids.
Okay.
If you're very concerned, a professional supervised visitation center or a professional individual supervisor would probably be the best, because they're impartial. They will keep track of notes and things, you know, they'll watch what goes on, they'll make notes and that sort of thing. And then if things go well in the visits, you might progress to non-supervised visits eventually. If things don't go well, you can take that information back to the court. And that gives you a way to show the court what's happened during the visits.
Okay, so if I did use a professional supervisor, because it sounded like maybe I would want to, who would have to pay for them?
Usually, depending on income of the parties, usually you would divide the cost between the two of you. But if one or the other of you has no money, then that may change.
Where could I find a list of professional supervisors or even visitation centers?
Let me give you this list. This is a little pamphlet that has information on the professional supervision centers rather. And these centers are all part of what's called the Mass Coalition for Supervised Visitation. They're all approved, not exactly licensed, but reviewed and approved by the state, so you know that they're on the up and up, they're on the level. If you're looking for individuals to do it rather than a supervised, formal supervision center, you could probably check with, did you meet any of the family services officers when you were in court?
No, I did not.
Okay. Usually when you go into court, if both parties need to, there's a mediator available at the court that works for the court, that can report to the judge, who will work with you and try to help you come to an agreement. that person usually has a list of professionals who are currently taking, new clients.
How would I get the court to order supervised visitations between my husband and my kids?
What you would do is file a motion for temporary orders. In the motion, you would put down what you're looking for, that you want visits to be supervised, and you'd be prepared when you go to court to explain the reasons why you feel that supervision is needed for the visits. You can complete that. There's some forms online that I can get for you. You can complete those, file them with the court, and then send a copy to your husband. The court will assign a date for you to have the hearing, so you'll put that on the notice that goes to your husband, and then you'll go to court together, and you'll just be ready to explain to the judge the reasons why you feel that supervision is necessary.
Could we look at those forms right now and maybe even fill them out?
Well, there's a website called masslegalhelp.org. It has a lot of information for people who are going through divorce or have family matters, and there's all kinds of forms on there that you can fill out, and the motion forms are there. You can walk over to the computer, isn't it?